It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds, and welcome to the dictionary, hosted by me, Spencer. This is episode F105. Welcome to the start of the fish section. Oh, I don't have any fishes here. No fishes today. Let's talk about the first word, which is the word fish. It's the first form. This one is a noun from before the 12th century. Multiple definitions and phrases and a picture. 1A, an aquatic animal. Oh, this is usually used in combination, as in starfish, also cuttlefish. So just any aquatic animal, they're saying, can be called a something fish. Obviously, that's not necessarily true. There's a lot of things that are not fishes that live in the water. Sea cucumbers, I don't think we're calling them fishes. Whales are not fishes, although some of them, I think, are they called something fish? I can't remember all the whale names, but they're not fish. They're mammals, but they are aquatic animals. It's very confusing. Number 1B, any of numerous cold-blooded, strictly aquatic craniate vertebrates that include the bony fishes and usually the cartilaginous and jawless fishes, and that have typically an elongated, somewhat spindle-shaped body terminating in a broad caudal fin, limbs in the form of fins when present at all, and a two-chambered heart by which blood is sent through thoracic gills to be oxygenated. Oh my God, that was so much information about fish. So, 1A, I assume this is the one that was kind of like the older term of, all those things that are living in the water, we're just going to call those fishes. Because that's what we want to do. We call them fish. Maybe the etymology will have something to say about that. But this one, 1B, this is the actual definition of these fish. And now is the time where we shall talk about the picture of this fish. All of those things, I guess we can quickly go through and see. They're cold-blooded. They are strictly aquatic, living in the water. They can't really come out of the water. There are some creatures that can sort of go in and out, but I don't know if we can call them fishes. Mud jumpers, puddle jumpers, what are they called? Let's see. Bony fishes, usually the cartilaginous and jawless fishes that have typically elongated, somewhat spindle-shaped body. Elongated, kind of skinny. It ends in a broad caudal fin. I don't remember what caudal means, but this fin is vertical. It goes up and down, so the thing can go like that, unlike a whale's back fin, which is flat like that. Limbs in the form of fins. Their limbs, we have these limbs, arms and legs, but their limbs are in the forms of fins when present at all. Some of them don't have them, I guess. Like eels. Can you call an eel a fish? I don't think they have. Maybe they have little fins. And then a two-chambered heart. Ours is four-chambered, so their heart's only two-chambered. Blood is sent through thoracic gills to be oxygenated. So the water comes into their mouth and then goes through their gills, those things on the side of their neck, essentially. And the gills have some stuff to pull the oxygen out of the water, so that's how they breathe, and then the rest of the water just goes through the gills, and that's how they breathe. Okay, picture time. Picture time for the fish. It's a fish. It's the side view of a fish. We're looking at the fish's left side. The fish is facing left, although for you it would be that way. Yeah. Number 1 is the mandible. It's pointing to the chin area of the fish. Number 2 is the nasal opening. So right on top, right in front of the eye, they got nostrils up there. Number 3 is the eye. That should be clear. Number 4 is the cheek. So this looks like it's between the eye and the gill. They have a cheek. And I don't eat the fish, but I know some people, certain fish, they're like, ooh, the cheeks are they're super flavorful or something. I don't know why the fish cheeks taste so good. Number 5 is the operculum. Ooh, that's a fun word that I've not heard of. That is, I mean, it looks like it's pointing to the gill. So maybe just in that area is the operculum. Number 6 is the dorsal fins. This one it looks sort of like 2 dorsal fins that are sort of connected. The first one is right in the center, right in the top of the back, and it's sort of spiky. And then there's another one that sort of flares off of that's more rounded, and that's more towards the back. And then number 7 is the lateral line. And, this is pointing to a line that kind of goes from the gill all the way down the body up to the tail. It's a line. Is this a decorative thing? What is this lateral line? I don't know. Number 8 is the caudal fin. That's just the fin in the back that helps it go and swishy swooshy through the water. Number 9 is just scales. Just scales, where it's pointing to one little patch on the back where they have drawn the scales. They have not drawn the scales over the entire body of the fish like it's supposed to be, just a little portion of it. Those are the scales. Number 10 is the anal fin. This one has an anal fin, so this is the fin just like the second dorsal fin on the top that's sort of rounded near the back. This one's very similar, but on the bottom of the fish, also near the back, pointing in that direction. Number 11 is the anus, and this is not where you would think it would be. I would have thought the anus would be back there by the fin. Nope. It's right in the center of the bottom of the fish. Are all fish like this? I assume not. I assume the ani, the anuses, are in different positions on all different sorts of fishes. Or fish. Plural is, I think, fish or fishes. Yes. But this one, I don't know what type of fish this is, but their anus is in the center on the bottom. Number 12 is the pectoral fin. This one is the one that's the typical on the side, although my hands are having them point forward, but they're really pointed backwards. They're on the side, like where the pecs are. These are the pecs. Number 13 is the pelvic fin, and this one is sort of right below the gills and the pectoral fin, right at the bottom, right down there, doing their flippy floppy thing. I think they were like, we need to find a fish that has all the different parts that a fish could possibly have, or we're just going to make one up because we need to show all the different parts. Not all fish have all these types of fins. So number 14 is the maxilla. This is pointing to where? This is like where the top jaw and the bottom jaw meet. Cuts kind of this area here on a human, right there. That's the maxilla, and some of them, I think their jaw can sort of unhinge, so maybe this is a part that helps in that. I don't know. Number 15 is the premaxilla, and that's pointing to it's kind of pointing to its upper lip. This one has beautiful, luscious lips, and the premaxilla is up there. Number 16, this is the last one. It is the upper jaw. So it's just both the premaxilla and the maxilla are the upper jaw. All right, that was all of the fishy stuff, except for the few more definitions that we have. I don't know what do I say about fish? Well, other than, I don't fish the fish. I don't hunt them. I don't eat them. I've never really cared for most seafood anyway, so not eating fish is not a big deal for me. I did when I was younger, before my ethics really kicked into gear. I did go fishing a few times. Not a thing that was not part of my bringing up, But I did go with like my cousin and my uncle, and I did catch a fish once with my cousin. I think we were in our teens, must have been, I don't know, 14, something like that. And I think I caught a northern. I once caught a northern this big. Yeah, there's a picture of me holding it. And then I think we cooked it up and ate it. The whole family was together on a vacation. I think that was the one like significant fish that I got. Let's see. Anything else about that? I mean, I think it's good to say that fish, first of all, they say that there's no nerves in the mouth and the hooks don't hurt them. I find that very hard to believe. They are struggling for a reason. Even if it's not painful, which I would be surprised if it isn't. They're like, I don't want this to happen to me. They are smarter than I think people give them credit for. They are, I think people have even trained them to do tricks. Like, there's more going on in that little brain of theirs than we think, than we realize. So, I don't know. Just wanted to say that about fish. Fish are great. And they are beautiful. They come in all sorts of shapes and colors, just like humans, and they're pretty great. All right, let's move on to number 2. This is the flesh of fish used as food. We call it fish. I'm going to eat some fish. No, I'm not. You are, maybe. Number 3A, a person who is caught or is wanted, as in a criminal investigation. So, I don't know if I've ever heard of this. The person who is caught or is being sought after to be caught because they did a crime, they're called a fish? Number 3B, the synonyms are fellow and person. And the example is an odd fish. That person, they're a little odd. Maybe you are saying, that's Spencer. He's an odd fish. I feel like this word in this context, though, has a little bit more meaning than just a fellow or person. Seems so normal. I feel like if you're calling somebody a fish, there's something else underlying, right? Number 3C, this is the 5A definition for the word sucker. Oh, I fooled him, that odd fish. He's such a fish. Number 4, something that resembles a fish, as 4A. What is going on here? The synonym is the first definition for the word Pisces, and also the 2A definition for Pisces. In this context, it's capitalized and also plural. So, fishes, something that resembles a fish, fishes. Go see Pisces to have more information. Number 4B, this is something that resembles a fish still. 4B, it's the 2B definition for the word torpedo. And torpedoes kind of look like fishes. They have a similar shape for a good reason. Because they're going through the water and they got to have the little nose that helps them go through the water better. Fishless. Fishless is an adjective. I am currently fishless. I have no fishes here. Fish-like is an adjective. I think we had a few fishes when I was little. Probably just goldfish. I think we got some guppies. And, they say that fish have a very short memory, but I think it's longer than they think. And, I don't know. They don't seem to do much, but most of them at least, but I think some of them, they swim around and they play around and they do stuff. And I think that if you're going to have fish in an aquarium, you got to make it interesting for them. You got to give them bubbles. You got to give them stuff to hide in. They like to hide. And, make it fun. Give them a good environment. Otherwise, it's just boring for them. And I think everything deserves some sort of interesting environment. Okay, we got some phrases. Fish out of water. That means a person who is in an unnatural or uncomfortable sphere or situation. We hear this a lot in stories in general. Movies say It's your classic fish out of water story. The fish. It's funny to think of fish out of water. Maybe that's not the best analogy because a fish out of water is going to die. That's maybe a fish in a new aquarium. I don't know. We're probably not going to come up with a better phrase, but that's what it is. The first one that I thought of a movie was Avatar. There are tons and tons of examples, but that one just jumped into my mind. Avatar is this guy who largely is a fish out of water. He is on a new planet, in a new body, meeting new people, doing new things. He does a very good job in his fish out of water situation. Not everybody does. Any other fish out of water stories? I don't know. There's a lot that I can't think. I mean, Labyrinth. Sarah is a fish out of water. She's going through a labyrinth with creatures she's never met before. That's a weird, unnatural situation. Next phrase: fish to fry. Fish to fry. This is concerns or interests to pursue. This is usually used with the word other. Other fish to fry. I got other fish to fry. I got other things to do. This podcast is not my only thing. I got other fish to fry. Me as a vegan don't love phrases like this. Same with kill two birds with one stone. Beat a dead horse. They're just words, but they're words. So they have a meaning, different ways to skin a cat. They're all like, hurting animals and stuff. Whatever. I'll still use them. I'm not militant about that, but still, it's like I don't want to go fry fish, but I do have other fish to fry. If we're using that phrase, I got things. I got other stuff. I have a day job. I have a movie to produce, and other stuff. Next phrase: neither fish nor fowl. Fowl is FOWL. This is one that does not belong to a particular class or category. Oh, we can't categorize it. Is it a fish? No. Is it a bird? No. What is it? I don't know. It's neither fish nor fowl. Maybe it's a foimble. Okay, it's time to make a sound effect. What's a fish sound? Ooh, I could do bubbles, because that movie Finding Nemo is great, and there's that one fish character that always gets so excited about the bubbles. Bubbles! All right, now we have the second form of fish. Oh, etymology. Hey, hold on a second. This is from Old English. Maybe they pronounced it fish, but it's spelled F-I-S-C. It is akin to the Old High German, same word, which means fish. From the Latin piscis, P-I-S-C-I-S, which is where we get Pisces from. It doesn't say what that means, but I assume it means fish. Okay, bubbles! The second form of fish is a verb from before the 12th century. We are starting with intransitive. Number 1, to attempt to catch fish. I like that they were like, listen, you're not necessarily going to catch a fish when you go fishing, but you are going to attempt to. You're trying to. You're sitting on the bay, sitting on the beach, the whatever, just hanging out. Maybe you're sitting in a boat, attempting to catch fish. Number 2, to seek something by roundabout means, as in fishing for a compliment. I'm not gonna come right out and say it. Please give me a compliment. No, I'm just gonna say, oh, don't you think that thing was great? I don't know how to fish for a compliment. I never do it. Number 3A, to search for something underwater, as in fish for pearls. Interesting. Did this come from the idea of trying to catch fish from fishing? You're fishing for pearls? I don't know. I guess it became just this idea of hunting, trying to get a thing. And it all came, I assume, from this idea of attempting to catch fish. 3B, to engage in a search by groping or feeling, what? As in fishing around in her purse for her keys. Oh, those purses. They are endless, bottomless pits. I don't know how people find anything. A lot of times they don't. They're like, where is my stuff? And you got to tear everything apart just to find it. I have a bag. I have a shoulder bag now, and I'm like, where are these things? How did they get lost? Now we have transitive, number 1A, to try to catch fish in. I don't know the in part. To try to catch fish in? Fish in? I don't know. Number 1B, to fish with. Also, use in fishing. And the thing that you are using is a boat, net, or bait. So you're fishing with stuff, with a pole, probably, and you're also using things during your fishing, like a boat, like a net, maybe to scoop up the fish, or bait, to lure the fish. It's a fishing lure. 2A, to go fishing for, as in fish salmon. If you like the salmon, maybe you were going to fish salmon. Ooh, there was an interesting animated short. I think it was nominated for an Oscar last year, and it was all about the story of salmon and how after they give birth, they die, and then the babies are born, and then they go swim and they go live their life, and then they come back to the same place. But the whole thing was done as, instead of a fish, it was like a humanoid that was made to sort of look like a fish, and it was really kind of disconcerting, which I think is kind of the point. And then they did all the same fish stuff, but it was fascinating and weird and beautiful and sad. 2B, to pull or draw as if fishing. As if fishing. As in the example, fished the ball from under the car. You got it out. You're maybe using a stick like you're fishing for a fish, but no, you're trying to get the ball out of the thing. Or maybe fishing your frisbee out of a tree. We do have another example. Fish wires through a conduit. Like maybe you're putting the wires onto a stick and you're pushing the stick through to get the wires through the pipe. And that's sort of like fishing. Fishability? That is a noun. Fishability. This is not a word I have heard. Fishability. I have the ability to fish, so I have fishability? That's a weird one. Fishable. That makes more sense. That's an adjective. There's a phrase, fish or cut bait. This is to make a choice between alternatives. You got to pick one. What are you going to do? Are you going to go fish, or are you going to go cut the bait and cut your losses and leave and get out of there? And for some reason, that just became a phrase that we say. I have never said it, though. Bubbles! Now we have fish and chips, 3 words with hyphens. Noun from 1876. This is fried fish and French fried potatoes. And of course, the British people or the other people in those commonwealths and who are run by the Queen or the King, they call those French fried potatoes chips. And we're like, yeah, cool. Fish and chips, yeah, baby. Fried and fried, yes. I guess maybe once a long time ago I had fish and chips, but yeah, not a thing that I eat. If it's fried, yeah, it's good with me, as long as it's not meat anymore. But oh, this is just your typical, like, hearty, feel-good meal. Very, very British and Irish, for sure. Bubbles? Now we have fish bowl. 1 word, noun from 1906. Number 1, a bowl for the keeping of live fish. If you are going to keep live fish, you should put them in something, a bowl that can hold water. They can't live out of water. Number 2, a place or condition that affords no privacy. Oh, it's like we're living in a fishbowl. It's like one big window. The fishbowl is one big window for the fish. They got a great view of everything, but we also have a great view of them. Bubbles! Fish cake is next. 2 words, noun from 1854. A round fried cake made of shredded fish and mashed potato. Oh, clearly, fish and potatoes go so well together. I understand we are using cake as in like a flatty kind of thing, but it's not a sweet cake. It's a savory cake. But it's fried. Maybe people were like, you know what? I like fish and chips, but I don't like them in fish form and potato form, chip form, fry form. I want them put together, and so I can eat them together in a pellet, kind of, in a puck. Fish cake. Bubbles! Next is fish duck, 2 words, noun from 1858. The synonym is merganser, which I guess is a kind of duck. merganser. Merganser? Merganser. Merganser. I guess it's a duck. A duck that looks like a fish, that lives with fish, hunts fish. I don't know what they do. Bubbles. Now we have fisher. Noun from before the 12th century. Number 1, one that fishes. Number 2, a dark brown North American carnivorous mammal of the weasel family. Oh, ho ho. The species name is Martas pennanti, and maybe we should look up a quick picture of this. I guess you'd say fisher weasel. Let's see, because it says it's of the weasel family. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a weasel, and I'm guessing that they love their fish. Although it says forest dwelling. Interesting. Maybe we'll post a picture of one of those on the social media. Okay, now we have to B, the fur or pelt of this animal. Yes, people are murdering these cute, beautiful animals just for their fur. Bubbles! Next is fisher folk. 1 word, fisher folk, F-O-L-K. Noun from 1822. People who fish, especially for a living. It's a very cultural thing. A lot of people in the, coastal areas, they're the fisher folk. That's how they eat. That's how they survive. That's how they make a living. They sell the fish to other people who want the fish. And they're like, hey, it's my business. I'm fishing all day long. Bubbles! Fisherman or fisherman. Noun from the 15th century. Number 1, one who engages in fishing as an occupation or for pleasure. They're a person, often a man, who's going fishing because they like it. Or they must do it to sell stuff. Number 2, a ship used in commercial fishing. The ship is the fisherman? The fisherman? That's interesting. Bubbles! Fisherman's Bend, 2 words, noun from 1823. A knot made by passing the end twice round a spar or through a ring and then back under both turns. And it says to see the knot illustration, K-N-O-T. Passing the end twice round a spar or through a ring and then back under both turns? I don't know how to do it, but I guess a lot of fisher people, the fisher folk, know how to do this. It's a fisherman's bend because the fishermen are using it and it's bending around the rope or whatever. Why do they use it? I don't know, knots. Bubbles. Next is fisherwoman. Very good. We got a woman into this situation now. Noun from 1816. This is a woman who fishes as an occupation or for pleasure. Yup, just like the fisherman. The fisherwoman is doing the same thing. Are we going to see fisher people? No, but we had fisher folk. Bubbles! The last word is fishery. F-I-S-H-E-R-Y. Noun from 1528. Number 1. The occupation, industry, or season of taking fish or other sea animals. Just taking them. That's it? Just taking the fish or the other sea. And we're going to take them. Where are we going to take them? We're just going to take them on a date. The examples of other sea animals are sponges, shrimp, or seals. The synonym is fishing. Going fishing, during the fishery, at the fishery. The job is the fishery. I cannot support it. I'm sorry. Number 2, a place for catching fish or taking other sea animals. Why are we taking all the sea animals? Number 3, a fishing establishment. Also, it's fishermen. The place, it's just all about the fishing. Number 4, the legal right to take fish at a particular place or in particular waters. The legal right to do this is the fishery. Lots of ways. Number 5, the technology of fishery, and this is usually used in plural. The fisheries. Oh, what are you using at your fishery to take those fish? I'm using these fisheries, which really help in my fishing of taking the animals out of their home and then possibly murdering them. All right, let's pick a word of the episode. Today we had fish, fish and chips, fish bowl, fish cake, fish duck, fisher, fisherman's bend, fisher woman. Did I miss something? Fisher folk, fishermen, fisherman's bend, fisher woman, and fishery. I don't know. Let's pick fish bowl as the word of the episode. Swimming around in my fish bowl. You're watching me do everything that I do. The fish bowl is my home. I'm a fish. Okay, that was fine. Let's talk about a movie now. The next movie that we watched, this was the day that we found out that David Lynch had passed away. I don't know if he died on January 16th or if he had died the day before and they didn't announce it till the 16th. But on the 16th, we found out, and so that was a rough day. And we watched Blue Velvet that night. That was the first in our... the next few days, we watch a number of David Lynch movies, and so that was the first one. And, ooh, it's a classic, and it's good and weird and funny and tough to watch at times, and yeah. It's not for kids, but if you're an adult and you haven't seen it, you should probably watch it, and all of his movies. All right, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for checking it out, and until next time, this is Spencer not fishing, but dispensing information, maybe fishing for a compliment. Goodbye.